All right, my beautiful people, this is ERGJ, your certified financial educator. We're back here with How Rich People Think, the Money Mindshift, and we're on day number 14, principle number 14. And here's the deal, man. We're going through this book, How Rich People Think by Steve Seibold. Steve, make sure I get my check for this free promotion. Now, here's the deal. People often ask me, what have I done to go from being a financial zero to a financial hero? And the first thing that I did, and the first thing that I tell them is just to read. You got to ask yourself, if you find yourself in debt, if you find yourself wanting to go to the next level, what are you putting into your mind? Wealth begins in the mind. Now, we understand that we've been programmed throughout our life, watching television, whatever the people have told us, all these things, but who are you taking the advice from? Most of us are taking our advice from our poor dad instead of our rich dad. Most of us are taking advice from our poor uncle instead of our rich uncle. So you got to ask yourself, if I want to be rich, if I want to be wealthy, if I want to make a greater contribution to the world, if I want to build something so mass and so large that it serves more people, then I'm going to need some money. And here's the deal, man. Rich people think differently than poor people. So what we're doing is we're shifting the way that we think. We're reprogramming our mind, because wealth begins in the mind. Again, wealth begins in the mind. If you have rich thoughts, you will have a rich output into your life. And so we're going through the book once again. Now, if I tell people to read this book, guess what? Most people simply won't read it. So I've decided to create this show so that we can actually go through these 100 principles together and we can read right along with one another. So hopefully you're enjoying this audio video book that we're doing, and we're just going to keep going. So we're on day number 14. Day number 14, and we're going to have 86 left to go. So stay with us every day here, Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. So day number 14, principle number 14, let us begin. The middle class worries about running out of money. The world class thinks about how to make more money. Again, the middle class worries about running out of money. The world class thinks about how to make more money. Poor people spend more time thinking about money than rich people. The problem is poor people spend their time worrying about what it'll do if they lose their job, they get sick, or exceed their budget through poor planning or bad luck. Most of this worry is a waste of time, not to mention the negative, destructive psychological impact it has on their minds and the physiological havoc it wreaks in their body. And how many people you know are just stressed out about money? Stressed out about money. Man, I would say most of the stress that people have in this world, in this life, is about money. How many divorces happen because of money or lack thereof? Most people are stressed out about money. But here's the deal. If we switch our focus to, man, I'm going to run out of money, and start using our energy and our mental capacity to think about how I can make more money, then we might actually have some solutions to our problem, which is a money problem. Now I tell people, you don't have an income problem. What you have is an idea problem. So you spend most of our time worrying about money than we do thinking about ideas to solve problems that can bring us more income. Solve more problems, serve more people. That's going to be a recurring theme probably throughout this whole book, because that is what rich people do. Living in fear isn't living, it's surviving. Living in fear isn't living, it's surviving. And I put a wealth affirmation out yesterday. It says, I don't just survive, I thrive. I don't just survive, I thrive. I want you to type that in the comments below. I want you to really take this wealth affirmation with you today and through the rest of your life. I don't just survive, I thrive. Because you're not living in fear anymore. You're not living in fear. You're going to be living in faith of all of the possibilities that your critical thinking, that your skills, talents, and abilities, all the things that you are able to do, you're going to have faith to believe that it's possible for you. I don't just survive, I thrive. World-class performers find problems that are profitable to solve and spend most of their time focused on solving them. They know money will follow the solution, so logic dictates they direct their mental energy towards critical and creative thought, which is rooted in the belief that just because a solution hasn't been discovered doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because a solution hasn't been discovered doesn't mean it doesn't exist. No fear lives at this level of consciousness. So just think about this for a second. If every day for the rest of your life, you've put your focus, you controlled your thoughts into thinking about solving problems. You put your focus, you put your thought onto being creative and having a critical thought as it relates to coming up with ideas. It's almost impossible for you to think of two things at the same time. So if you're thinking about solutions, then guess what? You're no longer thinking about your problems. Let me repeat that again. if you are thinking about solutions, then you are no longer thinking about your own problems. Sometimes you just got to let it sit in for a minute. If you're thinking about solutions, then you are no longer thinking about your very own problems because you're focusing on finding solutions to problems that exist in this world. Creative critical thinking is the highest form of thought and is single-handedly responsible for all progress in the history of civilization. Every product or service that has made our lives better has come from creative thought. So when I say the world class thinks about how to make more money, what they're actually thinking about is creative problem solving, not money itself. Rich people think on how to solve problems. I don't know. We're going to probably keep saying this over and over and over again. It's got to get into your membrane. Solve more problems, serve more people. Wealthy people are often criticized for being obsessed with money, but the truth is, it's the poor, working, and middle class that spend most of their time thinking about it. See, rich people aren't thinking about money because they have it. Poor people are thinking about money because they don't. And because they don't have it, they don't really think about ideas. They think about the money problem that they have, which brings worry, which brings stress, which brings all of these different things that comes along with stress into your life. You got clouded judgment. You're not able to make decisions clearly. You got a lot of stuff that's going on in your life when you're worried about money. You're stressed out. You're sick. You're poor. These are bad places to be. But we can very easily change. We can shift our mindset into thinking how rich people think, and we can slowly make progress towards the land of milk and honey. We can slowly make progress towards the land of the wealth, of the abundance. But we got to change what's up here first. It starts here. Wealth begins in the mind. If the masses would upgrade their limiting beliefs about money and redirect their mental energy to new and exciting ideas, they would experience financial abundance. Money flows to great ideas like water. The secret is learning how to turn on the faucet. Money flows to great ideas like water. The secret is learning how to turn on the faucet. So here's my question for you today, guys. Have you learned how to turn on the faucet? You've got the opportunity, right, to have money flowing to you in the abundance that you have the ideas to solve the problems. So your focus is not to be on the money because inherently it'll come. Your focus is coming up with new ideas to solve more problems. And the money will flow to you like water. Like Bruce Lee said, like water. The trick is, are you going to take the time to learn how to turn on the faucet and turn it on? The faucet is right up here. The knob is right up here. And it'll flow into your life as you focus on the ideas. Here's your quote of the day. Money never starts the idea. It is the idea that starts the money. That's by William Cameron. Money never starts the idea. It's the idea that starts the money. Now, here's your critical thinking question of the day. How much time do you spend worrying about money compared to the time you spend engaged in creative problem solving? How much time do you spend worrying about money compared to the time you spend engaged in creative problem solving? Now, for me, guys, once I decided I was going to stop worrying and I was going to start fixing, again, when I decided, I had to decide for myself that I was going to stop worrying and I was going to start fixing. I was going to start fixing the very own mess that I created for myself. Student loans, car loans, just the gamut. Everybody probably has gone through, right? But I decided I wasn't going to focus on the mess. I was going to focus on fixing the mess, which changed my thought from being problem-oriented to solutions-oriented. And so I started looking for solutions. I started asking, seeking, and knocking. And I started to come up with new creative ideas, which is how I'm in business for myself right now. Because I came up with an idea. I had an idea, and it was like an epiphany. And then I started working on the idea. And then people saw value in the idea. Then I came up with more ideas. And then it was like another epiphany. And then people started seeing value in the ideas that I was bringing to the world. That's how I'm in business for myself. That's how I went from being a financial zero to a hero. That's why I'm able to help people extract from their very own gold mine the things that are inside of them. Because guess what? I was able to extract it from myself. I was able to go into the well and get that living water that's on the inside. And if you're a person, you're saying you need help with that. If you know that you have greatness inside of you, you got some ideas, you got untapped potential that you have just yet to tap into. Well, maybe you need a little help. Now, let me give you a secret. Here's how you get help. It's 3 letters, A, S, and K. You got to ask. You got to ask. See, some people are too prideful to ask for help. And because they won't ask for help, they find themselves living the same life that they've created for themselves because that's what they've created. And that's how they're thinking. But when you ask for help, you're able to get connect with people that may have a higher level of thought than you as it relates to some area that you're seeking help in, right? And we're not saying that they're smarter than you. We're saying that they may have a higher level of thinking in some area as it relates to the area that you need help in. And so most people that I know need help in finances. So guess where they go? They go to someone like me and possibly like you that has a higher level of thinking as it relates to money. That's why I teach this stuff. That's why I do these shows, because I want you to be rich. And I want, you know what? For some reason, we have a problem saying that. I want to be rich. You know, when you can get past the old hurdles, the old limiting beliefs to say that that's pompous or that's boastful, I don't have no problem saying I want to be rich because I want to do great things in this world. I want to make this world a better place. And I know for most of the things that I want to do, it's going to take money. So guess what? I want to be rich. Your action step for today. Identify the biggest problem in your business or industry that, if solved, would earn you a fortune. Then go solve it. I want you to think about your industry, whatever you're in right now, your business, your idea, the job that you work, whatever it is. This is how you start coming up with these $1 million ideas. Identify the biggest problem in your business or industry that, if solved, would earn you a fortune, and then go solve it. It's just that simple. Identify the problem, then go solve it. It's just that simple. So here's what I want you to say in the comments below. I don't know what I want you to say. You can say whatever you want, man. Be a problem solver today, man. Identify the problem, then go solve it. I'm identifying problems and I'm solving them. I am a problem solver. Say that in the comments below. I am a problem solver. Matter of fact, I'm a big problem solver. I find problems that are so big, they need my help. They need my attention to go and solve, man. Identify the biggest problem in your business or industry that, if solved, would earn you a fortune. Earn is an important word, to earn you a fortune, because you solved a big enough problem that served enough people that they brought value back to you because they're paying for the problem that you solved. You're a problem slayer. That's right, Mr. Cool Dude, Peter. Hey, a problem slayer. And then go solve it. Find a big enough problem that will earn you a fortune, and then go solve it. So for me, guys, the biggest problem, the biggest giant in the land that I found is financial illiteracy. So I decided I was going to be the person to go and solve this problem, to make sure that in our 51 states in the Americas that we improve the financial literacy of our youth. That's a big enough problem. That is a big enough problem that if I can solve, and I believe I got some of the solutions, but I'm working on problems. I'm working on solutions every day, that if I solve it, it'll make me a fortune. But not only will it make me a fortune, it'll make those that are connected to me a fortune. Those that are in my network a fortune. Those that are working on solving this problem together. Because it truly does take a village. But it starts with us. Hey, that's our time today, man. Hopefully you got a lot out of the day. I'm super excited about this small little short chapter 14, the Money Mindshift. Are you worried about running out of money, or are you thinking about making more money? This is ERGJ, your Certified Financial Educator. We're here Monday through Saturday at 8 a.m. I'll be here tomorrow, and the question is, will you? Have a great week.